everybody, Jamie here from Start Riot. Welcome back to Thank Punk. It's Friday! This week, Manchester Orchestra released another track called The Alien. It's from their upcoming 5th album, A Black Mile to the Surface, out July the 28th. It follows on from their previous song, The Gold, which was the first single released from the album. I feel like with these two tracks, it definitely is a new direction for Manchester Orchestra. It's not as dark and heavy as the moments on the last album, Cope, and the heavier moments on Mean Everything to Nothing. It's also not as fun and upbeat as their first album, I'm Like a Virgin Losing a Child at parts, and also many of the tracks on Simple Math, I'm thinking Pensacola specifically. I feel like these tracks are much more focused on the melody and the atmosphere of the track, a bit like some of the tracks they did with Bad Books, which is a side project they did with Kevin Devine. Also sounds a bit like some of Andy Hull's side project, Right Away Great Captain. I feel like this shift in sound has been influenced by a few factors, partially because they've had a lineup change since the last album, Cope, and Andy Hull and Robert McDowell from the band both worked on a film soundtrack for Swiss Army Man. There were lots of layers of vocal harmonies in that soundtrack as well, which you can definitely see reflected in both these tracks. Heavy harmonies all the way through a lot of the verses and the choruses. These tracks have got much more of a presence to them than these standard rock songs. There's lots of layers to the tracks, lots of little intricate details that you might not pick up on the first listen. I mean, overall, it's definitely a direction that Manchester Orchestra haven't dove into before. Really excited to see what the album will sound like if it follows suit with these two tracks. If they do display some more heavy moments like they have on previous albums, if they even have more sparse emotional moments like I Can Feel Your Pain off I'm Like a Virgin Losing a Child, or I Can Feel a Hot One off Mean Everything to Nothing. Either way, I definitely trust Manchester Orchestra's ability to write incredibly moving songs, and I'm very much looking forward to this album. A reminder that they're doing a UK tour in October as well. Just can't wait. Really can't wait. Another band releasing sparse emotional music, The National have released a new song, Guilty Party. It's the second single of their upcoming album, Sleep Well Beast, out September the 8th on 4AD. This song features the use of samples and digital effects, which kind of reminds me of that latest Bon Iver album, 22 A Million. But with Matt Berninger's undeniably distinctive vocals and the downbeat melodies ever present in this track, it is unmistakably a National song. It does kind of sound like they've put the beat from Mistaken for Strangers, really fast and driving rhythms, with the vocal melodies and instrumentation from a slower, somber track like Runaway from High Violet. It's a weird mix, but it's a really beautiful song that kind of builds and builds and builds without really going anywhere. It kind of stays on the same road. It's like one long journey that doesn't really go anywhere. Reminds me a bit of a Wes Anderson film, really. Really excited for another album from them as well. Alligator, Boxer, High Violet, all incredible albums. Even Trouble Will Find Me had really great moments on it, even if it wasn't as strong overall for me. They're doing a world tour later this year as well. Really looking forward to seeing these guys live again. They've got a really intense live performance that you might not expect from the tone of the tracks, but Matt Berninger really goes for it, gets in the crowd. Even in their 40s, they still rock pretty hard. I would also be amiss if I didn't mention that Brand New are doing something or other. It may be nothing, it may be everything. They've deleted everything from their web store and Procrastinate Music Traitors, their label's web store. This could be absolutely nothing. It could be Brand New just trolling the internet, because that's what Brand New do. They will do things that could mean nothing, they could mean everything. The last time they did this, they dropped the 2005 leaked demos. They released cassette tapes for those, which are fantastic still to this day. But since then, they have released the Mene 7-inch, the I Am a Nightmare 12-inch, and the 3 demos 10-inch, so it's not like they have to delete their whole web store every time they release something. It could be that they're about to drop their 5th album, their first in 8 years. It could be absolutely nothing. We will know more by this time next week. Who the fuck knows with that band? The wonderful Sibling released their second EP, Dream You, away today on Close to Home Records. We caught up with Benio earlier this week to chat to him about the EP and their upcoming tour.
I'd almost go so far as to say it's something entirely different, and it's probably what we should have released first, because it's more of what we're about. Just everything to do with the songwriting, how everything is structured, the lyrics. Yeah. 100% took more time. Yeah. The first one was quite an eager, kind of fast-paced writing process, and this time was kind of focusing more on like everything being expansive and kind of shining through like what we can actually do with our current lineup, which is the 3 guitars and the bass and the drums. Yeah. Played a few shows last week. It's sounding big, and it's almost as if the venues that we're playing can't, without sounding like a prick, can't take it.
Like I said, that album is out today on Close Home Records. Definitely check it out. Fantastic EP for fans of bands like kind of turnover, dreamy rock, Tears for Fears a little bit. More emo than both of them though, in a good way. Wallflower dropped a new video for Splintered. It's the first track from their upcoming second EP, Where It Fell Apart, out 18th of August. Following tour supporting Boston Manor, Knuckle Puck and Decade, they're finally debuting their first new material since last year's singles Masa Quiero Mas and Sleep Forever, both of which were incredible, and this song definitely matches the very high bar that those two tracks set. If you haven't heard them, they're for fans of bands like Brand New, Manchester Orchestra or even early Radiohead. If you think those are ridiculous comparisons, then maybe take this as a sign of how highly I rate this band. They are incredible. One of my favourite bands in the UK at the minute. I definitely put them in the same bracket as bands like Creeper, Muncie Girls and Milk Teeth, who are back before, and coincidentally they are going on tour with Milk Teeth this July and August. They're also playing a set at next week's 2000 Trees Festival. Cannot bloody wait to see them again. The wonderful Pet Library released a video, Walk You Home, exclusively on Start Riot today. It's the first single from their upcoming debut album, Pity Party, out August the 4th on Above the Waves, the first release for them. This is mathy emo for fans of bands like Algernon Cadwallader or Tiny Moving Parts, also mixed with heavy and spoken word stuff like La Dispute or even Pianos Become the Teeth. If you like that Cassell's release a bit earlier this year on Big Scary Monsters, then you'll probably like this as well. It's a great song. I'm really looking forward to the album. We're really happy to be premiering this on Start Riot today. Go check it out. The link is somewhere around here right now, also down in the description. Pinact released a new track, Separate Ways. It's from their upcoming second album, The Part That No One Knows, due out August 25th on K9 Records. Their first album, Stand Still and Rot, was excellent. It's fuzzy indie punk for fans of bands like fellow Scots Womps, Weezer or California fuzz rock band Waves. The band are also playing some dates in the US in August before doing a headline run in the UK in September. Modern Chemistry dropped a new track, Tripping Over You. It's from their upcoming debut album Everything in Gold, out next week, July the 7th. They've previously toured with bands like Frank Aero, Mayday Parade and Taking Back Sunday, and they're heading out with Taking Back Sunday again on their headline run this summer, along with Every Time I Die. Fall Out Boy released a new video for Champion. It's another song off their new album Mania, due out September the 15th. After Young and Menace, I think people pretty much switched off Fall Out Boy for good, and absolutely don't blame them. It was terrible. I only mention this track because it's not quite as bad as Young and Menace. It's not ridiculous. It doesn't have all the crazy vocal adjustments and sub drops and crap like that. It's definitely more of a rock tune, but it's just a bit dull, to be honest. I mean, early Fall Out Boy was marked by really high energy, fast-paced, catchy as hell melodic punk songs, and now they're just a really dull rock band. This isn't catchy, this isn't energetic, this isn't entertaining in any way. I just never want to hear it again, basically. I'm sorry, Fall Out Boy, you fucked it. I saw a comment saying people shouldn't disrespect them because they've worked hard to get where they are. That doesn't make the new music good, does it? It's still terrible. The Movie Life released a new song, Mercy is Asleep at the Wheel. It's the first single from their new album, Cities in Search of a Heart, their first new material since 2003. The New York pop punk band were in the same scene as bands like Taking Back Sunday and Brand New, earned the respect of those bands. Vocalist Vinnie Caruana went on to form the band I Am the Avalanche and then released a solo album last year. This track basically picked up where they left off. Obviously they're a bit more mature, 14 years down the line, but it's still got the classic Movie Life sound. Really melodic pop punk, definitely reminiscent of the early stuff from Taking Back Sunday and Brand New, without any of the ridiculous cliches associated with that scene nowadays. Culture Abuse released a new song, So Busted. They've also announced they've just signed to Epitaph Records, fitting right in with bands like Joyce Manor and the Menzingers. It totally makes sense, and it's great news for the band. Follows on from the success of their debut album Peach, which came out last year on 6131 Records, former home of Julian Baker, also current home at the Winter Passing in the US. Really cool to see that band doing well. You may remember them from a little bit of controversy from last year as well, when From First to Last were accused of ripping off their album artwork, which they definitely did. It's sun-soaked, slacker California fuzz punk, reminiscent of other bands from that scene like Best Coast or Waves. Horror punk band Energy have released they're coming back to the UK to do another tour. They were last over here supporting Creeper. We caught up with vocalist Tank earlier in the week to talk about the upcoming tour. Here's what he had to say.
Hey, this is Tank from the band Energy, and I'm here to talk about our upcoming UK tour, our headlining UK tour with the band Miss Vincent. I'm really excited to head back to the UK because the last time we went was actually the first time we had ever been there. And it was with the band Creeper, and their audience was so receptive in like such a positive way that I cannot wait to be playing to that audience again. It was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. In the 11 years that this band has been around, it was the best tour I've ever been on, so really looking forward to coming back and looking forward to showing everybody some new music. Yes, you heard it here first. We have some new music that's coming. That's about all I can say on that topic right now. But yeah, you can buy tickets to go see us on tour at ctickets.com. And I hope to see all of you there.
Brighton pop punk's Murder House released a new EP, Self-Doubt, today on Hanger Records. This is confessional emo pop punk making acoustic guitars cool again for fans of bands like Modern Baseball or Bright Eyes. If you're a fan of Conor Oberst, you kind of know what I mean. You know where his voice wavers a lot, and he may not be like the technically best singer, but he's definitely got a lot of character behind it. Also kind of Johnny Foreigner vibes in here as well. If you're a fan of that kind of quirky pop punk, not pop punk like neck deep pop punk like pop and punk together. It's really cool, check it out. And Hedgeway dropped a new song, Skeletal Me. It's off their upcoming EP, Roadbeards, which will be released at some point this year. This is fast hardcore influenced pop punk for fans of bands like The Story So Far or Title Fight, another band from that fantastic South Coast punk scene. Looking forward to hearing more from these guys. Hopefully that EP will be out soon. Next week is the amazing 2000 Trees Festival. I went there for the first time last year and it was a wonderful weekend. The lineup might not be quite as strong at the top of the bill this year. Slaves, Nothing But Thieves, and Low in Atlantis. Not really my bag, but if you look further down or on the alternative stages, there are some incredible bands playing. There's a bill on the Saturday night where it's Doe, Kevin Devine, The Menzingers, and Oathbreaker. It's just insane. Like, that 4-band run is crazy. Some other amazing bands playing like Puppy, Wallflower, Decade, Apology I Have None, Kamikaze Girls, Muncie Girls, Milk Teeth, Petrol Girls. There's just, the list goes on and on. I'll probably do a little preview early next week, so check that out if you're going to the festival. I just want to say, because there'll be no Thank Bung, it's Friday next week, it's smack bang in the middle of the festival, and there's no internet there, so I won't be able to do anything at all. Come say hello to me if you see me the weekend. I'll probably be carrying a picture of Cheeky Vimto, and I'll definitely offer you some. So on that note, I'll see you in a fortnight for the next Thank Bung, it's Friday. Like the video if you enjoyed this. Subscribe to the channel if you've not already. Have a great weekend, whatever you're up to. If you're going to 2000 Trees next week, have a great time then as well. But for now, Thank Punk, it's Friday!